In the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected. Yeah. That woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and
migrate.
Why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice, who's not for that? But words do migrate.
At all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu?
Well, that's...
Ma wasn't just clashing with Sunny Hostin. He was taking on a whole mindset. With pinpoint precision and perfect timing, he dismantled her argument and the broader woke Hollywood attitude backing it, delivering a takedown so flawless the audience was left stunned. The irony wasn't lost. Both leaned left politically, yet Ma's critique cut straight through the pretense. He stayed true to his principles, using the moment to make his point with unflinching clarity.
First segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
Any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left? Watching people protest for a terrorist organization like Hamas? That straightened me up pretty quick.
When Hostin suddenly labeled Ma a hypocrite, trying to portray him as someone criticizing a culture he supposedly belonged to, Ma saw the setup immediately. He wasn't about to fall for the classic woke tactic of twisting language to trap opponents. Every move was transparent to him, and he navigated it with calm, sharp insight. The tension escalated further when Ma appeared on The View to promote his latest book. What was expected to be a routine marketing segment quickly erupted into a heated confrontation. Ma, a left-leaning comedian himself, turned his critique inward, calling out his own side in a way that shocked everyone in the room. This was far from a polite debate. Suddenly, the discussion felt like a heated backyard barbecue. Hostin's attempt to corner him by questioning his use of the term woke became the spark that ignited the full-blown argument.
It struck me that in the first segment, you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected. Yeah. So the term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term, because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and
migrate.
So why is that a bad?
When Hostin abruptly called Maher a hypocrite, trying to frame him as someone attacking a society he supposedly belonged to, Maher saw the setup immediately. The maneuver was meant to trap him, but he read it like glass, transparent and obvious. He made it clear that he wouldn't fall for the typical tactic of the woke crowd, using their own language to ensnare their opponents. Maher's response was a masterful redirection that shifted the conversation entirely. He explained that words evolve over time. A term that meant one thing in the past can mean something very different today. He wasn't using woke in the far left sense. Hostin may have expected him to falter under the accusation of hypocrisy, but instead, she walked straight into his counter. Maher deftly dismantled the trap she tried to set, taking full control of the discussion.
And originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice, who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want, because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know, want to call it the super far. Don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a joke. But,
Too dark.
Well, maybe it is, but it's true. I mean, you know, if I had any doubt that I was right about the change that's happened in the left, watching people protest for a terrorist organization like Hamas, that straightened me up pretty quick.
Then came a moment that truly shocked the room. Left-leaning Maher pointed out that he was disturbed the moment he saw members of the woke audience openly supporting Hamas, the organization notorious for calling for Israel's destruction and denying its right to exist. That alone should have silenced the room. But it didn't stop there. Repeated calls for the extermination of Jews in the region and beyond have stemmed from this ideology. Yet some self-proclaimed woke activists now support the very group fueling the violence, while simultaneously condemning Israelis simply for existing. The contradiction is staggering. Despite his liberal stance, Maher made it clear that he was as horrified by this extremism as anyone. He didn't shy away from calling out the insanity, demonstrating that principle and reason come before party loyalty or ideological labels. Most of the women on The View, including Sunny Hostin, would undoubtedly prefer living in Israel over Palestine, Maher declared, shaking up the panel. He explained that Israel's values align more closely with American ideals, particularly individual liberty. In contrast, Palestine's strict laws severely limit women's rights, laws that none of the progressive critics would tolerate themselves. Maher didn't soften the point. He highlighted the glaring double standard. The panelists criticized a system they would never accept while comfortably condemning Israel from their own homes. The discomfort on the panel was palpable as the disparities in women's rights became undeniable.
Just astounding to me that they can't tell the good guys from the bad guys. I mean, just morally. I mean, let me tell you, if you're for Hamas, just live in Gaza for a day. And I'm not talking about while the war is on. I mean, before the war. Trust me, you would go running and screaming and begging to live in Tel Aviv, a place that has your value. Women have no, I mean, this is a show watched by a lot of women. Women have no rights in this place and a lot of majority Muslim countries around the world. I mean, there is no equal rights as far as speech, dress, opportunities for education, reproductive rights, freedom from sexual violence, freedom from sexual harassment.
The LGBTQ community. Yes.
That too. But you throw around the term apartheid. There is a gender apartheid in a lot of the world where women are second-class citizens at best.
Maher continued his measured but devastating critique, emphasizing the inequalities women face in many Muslim-majority countries. Woke activists tried to defend these regions from a distance, but Maher's calm presentation forced Hostin and her followers to confront the reality. Women marginalized in law, society, and culture. Without raising his voice, he delivered a precise, undeniable strike that left the panel momentarily stunned. Attempting to regain control, they shifted to the innocent victims argument, hoping to corner him again, but Maher was ready. Hostin, realizing her previous attempts to challenge him, particularly questioning why a self-described socialist was no longer aligned with woke culture, had failed, switched tactics. She tried to suggest that Maher was indifferent to violent crimes against defenseless people. Maher responded with sharp, calm precision. He dismantled not only her assertion, but the broader woke logic behind it, demonstrating once again that reason and clarity prevail over theatrics and moral posturing. His measured approach ensured he stayed in command of the conversation while exposing the flaws in the opposition's strategy.
Concerned about the innocent civilians that have been collectively punished and murdered, largely children and women. And are you at all concerned about the fact that the International Criminal Court just today issued a subpoena for Bibi Netanyahu?
That's ridiculous, but it's a war.
Why?
It's a war. Because it's a war and they were attacked and they're defending themselves. Now, this is a war. Do you think Hamas needs to...
Hostin realized her earlier attempt to challenge Maher, questioning why a self-described socialist would reject woke culture, had failed. Desperate, she tried to portray him as endorsing violence against innocent bystanders. It was predictable. When reason falters, moral grandstanding takes over. But Maher saw it coming from a mile away. With calm precision, he delivered another devastating blow, dismantling both her argument and the broader woke playbook. His response wasn't just sharp, it was a masterclass in deconstructing traps without missing a beat. In his trademark calm and accuracy, Maher's rebuttal landed like a truth bomb. The reaction was immediate. Nearly everyone in the room cheered while Hostin sat frozen, clearly unsettled. Both the panel and the predominantly left-leaning audience recognized Maher's skill in exposing the absurdities of the woke narrative. Yet, he wasn't done. His final point, in response to Whoopi Goldberg's question about whether the media selectively reports stories to serve agendas, was exceptional. A precise, incisive critique that left the room buzzing. Maher once again called out the woke agenda, describing it as a manufactured narrative that prioritizes ideology over truth. The radical left, he argued, treats dissent as unlawful, manipulates facts.
This is the question.
Yes.
You do.
Yes.
So how do we get
well,
out with the ceasefire?
All right, so Hamas needs to be destroyed because they are a terrorist organization who say openly that they want to commit genocide on the Jewish people, on the state of Israel. That's what from the river to the sea means, okay? And they say it very openly. They said, we did this attack. They've attacked Israel 5 times. They've started 5 wars since they were given that land back. They could have chosen to turn that place into any place they wanted to, and they took a lot of money that they took from the international community and they spent it on bombs and guns and building tunnels. So if they need to be destroyed, how do we do that? It's a war. I don't know how to do that, and you don't know how to do that. I assume the originally did. Of course, everybody is, but that's what happens in a war. Here's a way to stop that. Stop it.
And seeks to silence anyone who challenges the script. Maher criticized the movement not out of partisanship, but because he sees it as rooted in cultural decay and hidden objectives. The crowd was visibly struck, and even those on the opposite side of the aisle couldn't help but respect his reasoning. Hostin, meanwhile, seemed unsettled and ready to concede. She made one last attempt to accuse Maher of abandoning his liberal principles, but he responded with flawless composure, ending the exchange on his terms. Maher made it clear that he identifies as an old-school liberal who supports social justice, but not the type that traps people in their own suffering. He drew a sharp distinction between his values and the ideas of the woke crowd, arguing that their approach often keeps people stuck in harm rather than helping them. He illustrated his point with a simple example. While the woke mindset might leave homeless individuals on the streets for ideological reasons,
Biden just presents as old. It's not really fair.
No.
Because he's almost the same age. Trump is almost the same age as him. But Trump doesn't present that way. You know, you look at somebody right away, you can kind of just sum them up. I mean, we are not young, but we don't present as old. Biden does. I saw him yesterday making that speech. I mean, I'm sorry, he's Gaddafi.
demanding everyone tolerate the situation and punishing critics. A classic liberal would prioritize getting them into safe, stable shelters. The show resonated strongly with viewers, many of whom saw it more as a critique of woke hypocrisy than a traditional interview. Maher's confidence, humor, and biting sarcasm left the panel clearly rattled. One audience member remarked they had never seen the liberal narrative challenged with such poise and precision. Others echoed the sentiment, criticizing the program for rarely addressing opposing perspectives and pointing out the hypocrisy.
It's just nothing. And it's narrative over truth. You know, I mean, it's not like when I hear people talk on either side of it, I always think they're lying. They're just telling me half of it. And I never trust them anywhere until I check out the other. Old school liberals, which I would mostly count myself as, old school conservatives, there's still some of those left.
You've changed though.
Wait, what are the other two?
Well, that's what that's what I was trying to find out in this book. I don't think I have. And you know, we were saying in the break, we have to come up with a new word for woke. Let's have a contest, because this is a word that's triggering. But I mean, those concepts that are different than they were 5 years ago.
Of condemning media bias while benefiting from it. Sunny Hostin faced widespread critique, with commentators accusing her of twisting words and presenting flawed reasoning. From the moment she tried to corner him, Maher handled the situation with calm, accurate, and incisive precision. The panel's unsettled reaction showed that his words left a lasting impact. Even after the room had settled, he continued to critique politicians he felt pandered to radical beliefs, and he didn't shy away from poking fun at President Biden's advanced age and the limitations it imposed on his leadership. I sincerely apologize, it's a harsh comparison, but Maher's critique painted a picture reminiscent of a leader who seems unfit to command the world's most powerful nation. Calling out President Biden in this way wasn't mere insult, it reinforced the impression that real control is lacking. One moment captured the essence of the evening.
It was a term that I thought we kind of came up with, because people were calling them bums and vagrants and hobos. Homeless. No.
It's unhoused.
Well, it's people experiencing homelessness. But they're experiencing it on the street. Okay, the liberal view of that was for compassion's sake. We're the liberals, we're compassion. Let's get these people off the street. That's not the view of the, whatever word we're gonna come up with for this. Their view of the homeless is they're an endangered species that needs to be protected in their natural habitat, living their best life under.
Maher's presence wasn't just an irritation to the woke establishment, it was a full-blown migraine. With razor-sharp delivery and relentless clarity, Maher dismantled the arguments before him. By the time he concluded, the panel's points lay in ruins, and the broader narrative had crumbled. They stood no chance. To wrap up, click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this analysis. Maher didn't just survive the table, he took command of it, exposing the weaknesses in the woke narrative. By the time the cameras stopped rolling, the damage had already been done. What was intended as a routine appearance became a public reckoning. Arguments collapsed, strategies failed, and expressions revealed more than words ever could. After forcing a debate his critics weren't prepared for, Maher remained calm, clear, and composed. His goal wasn't to incite outrage, it was to assert truth with skill, control, and precision. The stunned silence and shocked reaction spoke louder than any response could. Maher didn't just walk away with the last word, he left after exposing a system that prioritizes pressure over principles. What was meant to be a scripted presentation transformed into a rare moment of ideological candor. The panel was unprepared, and the resulting silence said everything. Maher's composure, meticulous reasoning, and unwavering focus turned an ordinary appearance into a lasting lesson. Unscripted truth unsettles those who rely on narratives, and clarity will always expose pretense.